Okay, this is a Katsura Japanese maple group that I put together this spring. It had two other trees that weren't Katsuras. They were just another two different varieties of maple, of Japanese maple. I can't remember. Let's see, what were they? I think one was, it was golden something. I can't remember the names of either one of them, but one was golden something. I don't know. If I figure out the names of them, I'll put them up on the screen. But they were there. They died. And then one of the Katsuras died that was here. So I had pulled that out yesterday. Today, all we're going to do is we're just going to clean it up a little, just to help light get lower to the lower stuff. Like, we're going to cut some of these branches off that are longer, back to one node, so that that's one thing we're going to do. And then I'll take the longer ones. I'll try to do some cuttings. I have not yet had a success with Katsuras for cuttings yet. I know they can be, because these are cuttings. The person I get them off of in a lot of my maples, I've come from this nursery in, I think it's in California. Most all of his stuff is cuttings, because he caters to he caters to a lot of bonsai enthusiasts. So we don't want a grafted tree. So he tries to make most of his stuff available that are not. I'm trying to decide. This looks healthy, so I think I'm going to take a chance and cut this off, because we don't want this big, in a forest planting, we don't want this big long branch here. Again, another branch. And then the other stuff, what's left of it, looks rather healthy if I get it some light going forward. So we'll just chop some of the leaves back for it. So now it's got, I'm gonna get some of these down. And now it should get some light and grow up, because I would like it to get taller. Actually, I'm just going to cut this back to here, like so. Just trying to think if anything else needs some light. We have two branches here. We don't need both. So I'm going to actually cut the straighter of the two off, and actually the smaller of the two off, because it's got time to grow, so we don't want. It's probably better to take the smaller one and let it grow up, and it'll help with the taper a little bit on that one. So clean that out. And so we'll also take this leaf out. And we don't need particularly these two much bigger, because I may try to eventually put another two up here, Katsuras, and I'd still like, and it's probably be put in a bigger pot eventually. I would still like to try to get one or two other varieties to go in with this. I'm thinking there may be a green leaf, and some of these may actually be. These actually, 2, 3 may be Katsuras, and those may be green leaf. I'm not positive. And yes, it has 6. I don't care. I do understand the concept behind uneven amounts of trees in a forest. Cutting comes down to basically it will tend to make an easier composition. Not that you can't make an even number a good composition. It's just that the odd number will tend to make a better looking. It will be easier to make a better looking composition with it. I don't typically worry about it that much myself in a forest planting. I think even numbers can look just fine. I don't think this looks bad at all as an even number, with 2 over here and then the 4 over here. But 2, we're going to add stuff to it, so I'm not that worried about it even there. And generally, when you get up, like, I don't even know how many are in my large larch and maple one. I know I had, I think, 20. I'm pretty sure I had 20 larch, but I don't know how many thing in it. But when you get up to that number, it really doesn't matter, because nobody, unless you sit there and actually sit there and count every tree, you're never going to know if they're even or not up to that number. It's generally thought above 11, it really doesn't matter, but it's more of a Japanese tradition. So, and then even I think there's odd numbers that are considered bad luck with the Japanese thing. But I mean, I go generally off of Japanese rules, but I'm not going to worry about keeping them. So here's this goes. Okay, we'll roll this around. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you next time. Okay, this is the last of the Katura or greenleaf maple. I don't know which one it is. I think it's a greenleaf. Just because I think my last Katura was turned into a cascade. And I know that was a Katura. I think this is a greenleaf one I have. This may go into the Katura grouping that I have, that I think is Katura, and there's Katuras in there and green leaves in there, and I think it's a green leaf too because of the bark. The Katuras tend to get rougher looking quicker than the green leaf, and the green leaves stay more green trunk until they start getting older too. And all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a little. I'm going to chop this, cut this, clean this up here like that, and then I don't know if I'm going to chop any branches off of this, any leaves off of it. I don't really think it needs it. I think everything's getting light, so I don't think we need to do that. And I will just put, this is a big enough wound that I will put just a little bit of the cut paste that I use. If anybody's ever interested in what one I use, I can get you I get it from Amazon. I can get the link for it. I can't remember the name of it because it's Japanese cutting paste, so the whole tube's in Japanese, so I don't know Japanese. The only thing I can understand is the copyright symbol and it's 100 grams. That's all I can understand on the whole tube. Oh, and made in Japan. That's the other one I can understand. I forget the name of it, but you can get it. I know I get it on. I got my 2 tubes on Amazon the last time. You can get them different places, and the price can vary at times. I got mine around $10 a tube. They're sometimes a little more closer to $20 a tube. I think it just depends on supply over here at times, that sometimes the price goes up sometimes. But yeah, if you're ever interested, tell me. I can get the link. Okay, this is my Japanese maple that I will not try to pronounce because I cannot pronounce it. I will put the name on as normal. I had earlier, I should have waited to the video, but I cut some of these places where I cut branches off before. I cut them back again to hopefully help with some of this reverse taper that has developed in this area. We just had so many branches, and then when I cut them off, when they healed over, they came out more. So I've cut them back so they will heal better in the future. We might get this later down the line, but I didn't want to go too much on it for now. These were almost all healed, so I've just basically re-wounded them and dug them out more, so hopefully they'll heal over better. And I don't think there was much I could do there. It just was, there was a lot of material there. I cut back as best I could at the time, and they've healed over, and there was some reverse taper, so I just did this to help work on it a little bit, because I think it'll be beneficial for it. I mean, we might have been able to grow it out and not have it too bad. Surface roots look like this is developing some nice surface roots. I'm going to actually throw some more soil on top of it to bring the root system is kind of growing a little on the top, so I'm hoping maybe if I throw some more dirt around the top, I will create more of an environment for some more roots to develop better there, and we can get better roots. I'm not going to throw it all over and level it. I don't think it's going to make a big difference there, so we'll just go with that. And then we're just going to clip this. This has been growing good for a couple months now. We're just going to select the stuff and clean it up. Just select where we want the branches to go. Now, this has got a long internode, so I'm just going to chop that back to 1. We're going to chop this back to 1. We're going to chop this back to just 1. This back to 1. Because I am starting to get my basic. I'm still working on the basic branch structure, I think, but we're getting there. We're starting to get there to a better structure. Yeah, this will be 2 here. We'll clean that up. We'll get the other thing and clean this up. Get in here. Clean that up some. I'm gonna clip this back to 1. These just got really long internodes. I'm gonna cut this back to the first one here. Then we're gonna bring this back. Back to 1. So we'll leave that one go. Yeah, we'll leave that one go. We'll cut this one back though. Clean that up. We will bring this back to 2. Bring that back. I kind of missed this stuff because it was underneath. We will get rid of this altogether. This is kind of growing inward into this other branch, so we don't need it. We'll leave this lower one down alone there. We are going to remove one of these. It's too cluttered there. We're gonna, I'm trying to think what I want to keep here. I'm gonna keep, this is straight here. I don't know if you can see, this goes straight and this curves. So I'm gonna keep in favor of the movement. Cut that off. And then we'll clean this out here. We'll cut this one back to 2 and this one back to 1. Like that. And then that looks like about it. Yep, looks like about it. This might need to be rewounded. I don't think this is healing over properly. Yeah, I'm gonna get these will do better to. I'm gonna rewound this to hopefully get this to heal over better. It's still in the process of healing, but it doesn't look like it's healing the greatest. And again, it's another place that's got some, whatchamacallit. Okay, so here it is, finished. We're just doing a quick stuff on it. Okay, here is my Japanese maple, the butterfly variety. I call it also my ugly duckling, because it's always been ugly. Used to be a lot taller, and the first set of anything was like probably about this high up. So I hacked it back to here, hoping it would branch out, and it did this, but then this grew this way, and that looks ugly. We have a little branch here, so I'm going to take the chance now that we have something here, and we're just going to hack this off here. And I'm gonna leave a little bit because I don't know, I want this to die off. This is part of that, off that branch, so we'll have to work with that. So that's the new place we work with. Again, I'm hoping still maybe something buds down here. There's 2 nodes here where something could come out, so we'll see. And then we're just gonna clean that up for now. There might be still able to have something come out here. I had something last year, but it came out too late, and it didn't survive the winter. So that's what we're doing with that. I'll just keep an eye on it and watch it for until it, see if this holds up. If this survives and keeps going, we might be all right. I'm still hoping something lower because this is going to be a heart. This is still going to be a. It's still going to not make a nice tree. So. Okay, here are the 5 trident maples that I'm growing as like a group clump. We'll see what it looks like eventually. They might look more like a clump by the time I'm done. But today, mainly what we're going to do is just chop them back. They need to all be cut back. They had just grown all year last year. I'm going to try to get to them. I never got to them earlier, so they should be good now to cut back to. This front one I've already cut back a little bit because it was mostly dead and it was getting tangled up. It's got 2 shoots that can be viable shoots. It's actually got a 3rd shoot in the back. Okay, let's just cut some of this off. Trying to see which one would be better. I think I'll take this one on this side. we'll take that one off. We'll take this back one off. But probably just taking them all off with the cut and the let me see if I can get in with the scissors. I didn't quite have the thing high enough in it. Yeah, I'll have to try to get back in with these. Yeah, there we go. Didn't quite have it high enough. Might try to clean this up a little more. Yeah, this one had the most dieback over the winter. And then I'm just going to cut most of these back accordingly to what are going off of. I'm going to cut them all back quite a bit. We don't need them this tall, any of them that tall. So I'm just going to find spots, the best places to cut them all back to. And then we'll see where we're going to go from there. Okay, I think this one's a little higher than I may want, but I think that's the best place to cut it back. That one's kind of a no-brainer. Not much else going on for that one. You know what? I'm actually going to cut this one back to here because this is kind of, now that I got this open, it's kind of nasty looking back there. Get the X-Acto knife to clean this up a little more. Yeah, I'll try. It's not working. I'll just try these again on a different. There we go. That got him that time. Then I think I'm gonna chop some of these lower branches that I won't need on a lot of these out. This is a, well, this ain't even part of the tree, that's actually a weed. This is growing in, don't need that one. This is growing inwards, don't need that. And this little one there. And clean that up. Clean that up. This is dead. That's dead. Get in the zone. This one we will actually just keep without cutting the top off at all because it's so small and I had to cut it back. We'll just let that grow to thicken up. I think we'll do the same there and there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess all of them will. This one's dead on the top. I'll cut the top off there. So that's what we got so far. That is going to be the front, should be the front. This was going to be the most dominant tree. It died back the most, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Here's the whole thing around. my single tree trident maple. I have just been mainly letting it grow, clipping it back as I needed. We have this growing as the new leader for this, which if you see, this is a lot thicker than this and comes up. And when I cut this off probably next year, I'm probably going to give this one more year to help thicken up the main trunk before I cut this off. And I'm thinking this will probably be kept. So it'll be this and that. And then hopefully I can get this to back bud up here some, because this is a bad spot on this. But we should be able to hopefully get something to back bud there. What we're just going to do here is trim it back. Like on this side, we're going to leave this grow. This is just going to grow all summer. And then I'm going to just cut some stuff off entirely. And then also just trim back everything so that it will put most of its energy into this one I haven't cut. And this, at least on this side. And we'll probably do it on the other side too. I'll just cut that all off. But we want to cut this back to encourage it to put its energy into this one here. So, and we're not worried about any of this stuff. I mean, I could actually cut all of it off, but we'll keep it for now. Some of it for now. We don't want all of it cut off. And then we're going to come up to here. Like I said, we're hoping to be able to get rid of this eventually. But there's nothing growing back here. So what I'm going to do with this, trying to get a spider out of there. What I'm going to try to do with this is I'm just going to try to, this side I'm going to chop back to that. Just have one little thing here. We're going to chop, I'm going to chop this back to here. And I think I'm just going to remove this altogether. No, in case we have to keep it. Yeah, I better not. I'll just lengthen this and then we'll go through. We'll cut all the growing tips back, which hopefully will encourage the tree to back bud where we want it to back bud. And that is everything there. This we want to keep, but we want to get it clipped back some. And we'll worry about this some other time. We don't need this. I don't need this growing on here. It's just some little stuff growing here. I'll take that off. And that is all we're going to do with this. We're just going to let it grow again this year. May trim it towards the end of the summer. Probably not. We'll just let this grow all year. I might have to chop this off to put it in storage, but that's about it. But like I said, we're not worried about this, and this might go in the fall. I might cut this in the fall, but I know I don't want to keep this any more than one more year, because it's going to be a decent scar already, and it's going to potentially make more of a hard scar there for future. But this will help. This should help thicken this up and keep this from thickening up as much, and it'll help with the taper of these. The taper when these are the main things. So that is that. We'll rotate it. Okay, here we got some privets. I'd been wanting to try some privets for a while, so I got a deal where I bought one, get one free, so I grabbed them. This one, I don't know if it'll beat it. This is the one I'm favoring, but what we're going to do with it is we're going to chop it off. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to get close on this one. I'll clean it up later. I'm going to chop it off there. and see what comes of it. And then this one I'm just going to be a little more conservative on it. And I will just keep all 3 of these for now. Just top it off there. And then try to... Now I should take one of these off. I'm going to take the biggest one off, I think. Yeah, I'm going to take the biggest one off. I'm going to try to do it this way. Yeah, I think I can do it this way. And then we can... A little tough. I think it was the dead part that was already there, being hard to cut. We're going to have to angle a little bit here and get some more of this. Move this up a little better here. Yeah, it was the dead wood. The dead wood's a lot harder on this. And then we've got these two. Whatever one I decide to go with will be the one I go with. I may make both of them into it. Now I'm looking at this one. This might not be a bad one, but that's what we're going for now. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, and I will see you next time.